All right, let's get into Jessica Jones. I just finished it. There's a lot to talk about. It should take around 5 minutes, hopefully. But before I begin, I want to give a rating. So I'm going to do something unusual. I'm going to divide the rating into three different parts: first season, second season, and third season. Now, the. Okay, this is popping up. The first season was excellent because they had a good villain, good actor, right? The actor from Doctor Who in the early season, the actor, Barty Crouch from Harry Potter. And just having superpowers in a realistic way is up my alley, but it was just done very well. And I think they left the first season off like you're really, really interested in knowing what's going to be in the second season, and it did get much better and better. So it held up to a 9. I would say the first season was a 9. The second season was also around a 9, like an 8.9, so we'll just say 9. But the third season it started to fall off. Like this was the first season, very high. Second season, pretty much the same. You expect it's going to go higher, right? No, just went a little bit and then it slumped. So it gets like an 8 or like a 7.8, and we'll just round it up to an 8. And part of the reason that I didn't like it, the third season, was because one of the actresses, Trish, she's very aggravating. She's almost it's like a person with she like it's a person with a disability. She doesn't see herself. She doesn't realize that she's filled with rage and contempt and a misconstrued version of reality. Or I'll put it more simply, she doesn't recognize, she doesn't see herself ever. She doesn't look at how she sounds. She doesn't realize how hyped up she is when she speaks to people. Like, don't you see the urgency of this situation? It's like, whoa, I hear you. She's not very calm, and that takes away from your appreciation of her. So you could stick up for the director and say the reason why he made her like this, the writers at least, is because Jessica Jones is so calm and just monotone and pissed off. We needed someone more enthusiastic and determined and who believes in strongly what she's doing to balance out for her character. That could be, but it didn't work. It wasn't terrible. It just, after a while of seeing her do stupid things, and the movie doesn't actually point out her stupidity until the very last episode or two, where spoiler, okay, where she goes off the deep end and she kills people. But it took them so long to kind of drive that home. So it didn't end off well, but it was a decent show in terms of the concept. I'm going to look back and be like, that was a nice few seasons. I see why it didn't last the fourth season. I would watch it if it was out, but I'm not crazy about it. And that's that. That's the kind of show it is. I appreciate that they made her super strength realistic. What made it so realistic? It's hard to explain. They did it well. If you watch a few episodes, you'll see that they did it well. Like you can see that playing out in real life. There were a couple things that didn't make sense. I remember that logically speaking, like for example, she picked up files. This is the only time I noticed it. She picked up like heavy files, and she I could tell that the actor's trying not to make it seem like it's heavy. But then the police officer took all those heavy files and held them casually, and she had the same exact effort being exerted on the files. They didn't. It's like if they're gonna make a point that the files are heavy, Jessica didn't succeed in that, and the cops didn't succeed in that. Why are you giving so many files? Just give it a little folder or something that's like that won't. So yeah, that was the only time that was impractical. But you see here that it's such a small thing that the director overlooked because they did a good job with the realism. Another realistic positive was with a superhero that has skin that can't be penetrated. So, it didn't make sense to me why the skin wasn't penetrable. And if they went into the science, maybe I would have been more convinced. But they did such a good job with the special effects. When he took his metal razor and he put it against his skin, sparks flew, and that's those special effects made me go, wow, this is the real deal. And like this is what, you know, and I was thinking in real life, how would that be possible in real life? Is it possible to have skin that hard? I guess if you had skin that's like as hard as, what is the toughest skin in the world? I mean, steel, something that's like steel, but there is no, you know, there is nothing like that. Maybe some kind of alligator type of, I don't know. But I was thinking I couldn't think of it in a realistic way, but the special effects and the situations succeeded in making me be like, what, damn, this guy has really real powers. I can't wait to see this play out because it's so surreal. You know, what if that was our society? I like when movies do that, and they did a fairly good job with that. And they also did a good job with Trish that I didn't like so much. The actor, not the acting, but the actor, the person she played. In that she had, it's very reasonable. Her eyesight became extraordinary. She's able to see in the dark. It's a very reasonable power, right? Some people have dilated pupils, so you can just apply the dilation to some kind of receptors in the brain, picking up light more easily. Or, you know, animals in the ocean can sense light. I'm sure some of them don't. A lot of them don't have eyes, but you can kind of think of ways how that would make sense. And she can always land on her feet, so that brought to mind cat powers. And the reason why falling, so not just cats can do it, but you can imagine something happened to her bones maybe. There's also a concept in physics and psychology combined that there's a person who survived a tornado. How did he survive? So what happened was, scientists believe, and I agree with this, he went unconscious beforehand, so his body went limp. When the body goes limp, you can survive even falling out of a plane. So obviously, don't try this. Because let's say it lands on your head. So you have to land on your feet or something. But if you don't land on your head, then there's a higher chance, and the chance might even be like 25%. Why is it so high? Because when your body's limp, you become like a rubber ball, and you'll just bounce. And so that's why when someone punches you, this is my theory. I've been punched, unfortunately, in the past. This is my trick. I haven't seen, maybe I can talk about it in a separate video. You want to relax your cheeks and your face and kind of let them punch you so that the impact is not as strong. So if you're boxing, it's going to be different because they kind of, you want to attack them as well. But if you're just trying to suck up a punch because, you know, you don't want to get hurt, you know, it's better to relax. Obviously, blocking is the defense, but if you have to get hit, then get hit in a relaxed state, and you'll avoid bruising and perhaps even getting too much blood. Because when they punch you, there won't, the skin will be more durable in a relaxed state. That's just how the body functions. But if you're constricted, then skin tears more easily, muscle tissue tears more easily, and so on. And so we said 998, and out of 5 it's a, the first season is probably like a 4.7, second season is probably a 4.5, a little bit lower, which I didn't really talk about, and the third season is a 4. Is a 4. Well, so, yeah, and that's that.